I say that the privatization of SAA by Pravin Gordhan, Cyril Ramaphosa, and Enoch Godongwana is in fact selfish. It is selfish and it is corruption. It is the corruption of Cyril Ramaphosa. It is the corruption of Pravin Gordhan. It is the corruption of Enoch Godongwana. It is the selfishness of Cyril Ramaphosa. It is the selfishness of Pravin Gordhan. It is the selfishness of Enoch Godongwana. Why? Because the reason that we have been given, especially by Pravin Gordhan, in privatizing SAA and giving it to Tagazu Consortium, is that SAA is bleeding money due to corruption. They are saying that SAA has wasted money because each time SAA has had financial problems, the state has to take money from the National Revenue Fund and give it to SAA so that SAA continue operation. And they are saying that the best solution that they can come up with in terms of solving the inability of SAA to generate profit for the state is to privatize it. Realize this. The people who are corrupt within SAA, or the people who were corrupt within SAA, who were making SAA not to be able to generate profit, were appointed by the same politicians. How is it possible that the same ANC politicians who appoint the board, who appoint the executive, who appoint a top-level management SAA, are saying that because of their failure, obviously they don't admit that it is because of their failure to appoint the right people in SAA is not able to generate profit. They are just saying that because of the failure of SAA from generating profit and the fact that each time it fails to meet its targets in terms of profits, the Minister of Public Enterprise or the President or the Minister of Finance has to take money from the revenue fund in order to bail out this. So they are saying that the best thing that they could do is to take SAA and give it to a small group of people. And this small group of people are South Africans. This small group of people don't come from Mars. They don't come from the moon. They don't come from under the sea. This small group of people are South Africans. And this small group of people have been served in the public domain. I mean, Tsepo, what's his name? Tsepo, the CEO of Harith, the company which is part of the Tagazu Consortium, which has bought a 51 stake in SAA, used to work for the PSC. The PSC is a state-owned company. So if this guy, this CEO of Harith or the chairman of Harith, who is part of the Tagazu Consortium, who were able to buy SAA, will be able to generate profit, will be able to use SAA or to run SAA in such a way that it no longer bleeds money, it is able to generate profit. Why then didn't Pravin Gordhan, Enoch Godongwana, and Cyril Ramaphosa just appoint the guy? Why was he made the chairman of the board of SAA? Why the current CEO of SAA, who has capacity to make SAA profitable, who has capacity to rid SAA of corruption, why wasn't he just appointed as the CEO of SAA? What SAA is still under the ownership of the people. I mean, why does Pravin Gordhan and Enoch Godongwana and Cyril Ramaphosa so narrow-minded that they are so narrow-minded that they think that no, we need to make sure that this company goes to this group of people. They're not thinking that since the aim is just to get rid of corruption, since the aim is just to make SAA profitable, then we just need the right people to make SAA profitable. We just need the right people to make SAA meet its targets. Then why didn't they appoint these people? Why did they need to sell SAA? That's why I'm saying that this is selfishness. This is intentional. This is not about trying to make SAA profitable. This is not about trying to make SAA, play a developmental role in South Africa. This is about politicians who are funded by private interests in order to take from the public to give to the private. That's where the selfishness comes from. And in the end, when these politicians leave office, they become rich. Because the people who have ensured, or the people who have put them in public office in order to take public property, turn it into private property, will give them money, will reward them for their work. So for me, privatization of SAA has nothing to do with trying to stop SAA from bleeding money, from bleeding public money. It is about the narrow-minded, selfish interests of Cyril Ramaphosa, Pravin Gordhan, and Enoch Godongwana, who are put in the public office in order to take property that belongs to the public and give it to private interests. That's why I'm saying that this is selfish. And this is corruption, because the reason why this corruption is because in public, at face value, they are telling us that it is about trying to make SAA profitable. But the question becomes, profitable for who? And I know that Private Gordhan is going to say, no, we only sell 51%. No, we want 100% of the profits. Because if you are taking away public property, which is for the benefit of the public, which is for the benefit of all South African citizens, which is for the development, which is for playing a development role in South Africa, and giving it to a small, narrow-minded private interest, you are economically disempowering the people and empowering the private sector and empowering this private interest. Meaning that in the end, as a public, as South African citizenship, we won't own any part of the economy. The best thing that you will be able to get when everything is privatized is a job. And since everything will be privately owned, it means that even labor laws won't need to be adhered to. That means you won't be allowed to strike. That means you won't be allowed to take your boss to the labor court, because they'll just fire you and get someone else. Why? Because everything will be privatized. You see, that's why I'm saying that this is selfish. This is corruption. These politicians are not in the office, in public office, to serve us. They are not in public office to develop South Africa. They are in the public office to make sure that the interests and the desires of the private interests who have put them in public office are fulfilled. The only thing that they want us to do is to vote. That's why Rob Herzog publicly said that him and his family put Ramaphosa in the Union building. Of course, it's not in those ways, but that's what he meant. What he meant was that him and his family made sure that Ramaphosa was the president. Then the question becomes, if Rob Herzog is responsible for putting Ramaphosa in the presidential seat, what was Rob Herzog hoping to gain from this? What you know about Rob Herzog is that he is an investor. And investors put money so that they could get more money back. So if Rob Herzog and his family have put money in order to make Ramaphosa the president, that means that Ramaphosa's presidency must result in Rob Herzog and his family making more money. And then the way in which Ramaphosa and his cronies like Pravin Gordhan and Enoch Godongwana are going to do this, meaning that the way in which they are going to make sure that Rob Herzog and his family get profit or get money from the investment that they put in Ramaphosa by making the president, is by privatizing state-owned enterprises, which then become private entities, and then these private entities now will make sure that South Africa becomes a private state, where the majority of the economy is under private interest. In fact, all the economy will be under private interest. And we won't have any economic power. And when you have no economic power, then you don't have any say in the direction of the country, which means that the values which are going to be, the values which must be pursued by South Africa will be determined by this private interest who will be owning the economy. Because if people want other values, they won't be funded as politicians or political parties. That's why I'm saying that this privatization of SAA is selfish and is corruption.